Hi, second grade. We're going to do one more reading lesson. Again, you're going to need something to write with and a piece of paper. This time, I want you to fold it 3 ways and write the words beginning, middle, and end. So as you listen to the story, you're going to go back and fill this out with a good second grade sentence using capitalization at the beginning of your sentence and punctuation at the end. And give me one sentence: what happened in the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened at the end. And then take a picture of this and send it to your teacher. Email it to your teacher so you can get credit for your lesson. The story I chose for beginning, middle, end is Owl Moon by Jane Yolen. I don't think we read this one at school. I just picked it up. It was late one winter night, long past my bedtime, when Pa and I went owling. There was no wind. The trees stood still as giant statues, and the moon was so bright that the sky seemed to shine. Somewhere behind us a train whistle blew, long and low, like a sad, sad song. I could hear it through my woolen cap. Pa had pulled it down over my ears. A farm dog answered the train, and then a second dog joined in. They sang out, the trains and the dogs, for a really long time, and when their voices faded away, it was as quiet as a dream. We walked on towards the woods, just Pa and I. Our feet crunched over the crisp snow, and little gray footprints followed us. Pa made a long shadow, but mine was short and round. I'd run after him every now and then to keep up, and my short round shadow bumped after me. But I never called out. If you go owling, you have to be quiet. That's what Pa always says. I had been waiting to go owling with Pa for a very long time. We reached the line of pine trees, black and pointy against the sky, and Pa held up his hand. I stopped right where I was and waited. He looked up, as if searching for the stars, as if he was reading a map up there. The moon made his face into a silver mask, and then he called, "Ooh, ooh, ooh," the sound of a great horned owl. Again he called out, and again, and after each call he went silent for a moment. We both listened, but there was no answer. Pa shrugged and I shrugged. I was not disappointed. My brothers all said that sometimes there's an owl, sometimes there's not. We walked on, and I could feel the cold as if someone's icy hand was palmed down on my back, and my nose and the tops of my cheeks felt cold and hot all at the same time. But I never said a word. You go owling, you have to be very quiet. We went into the woods. The shadows were the blackest things I'd ever seen. They stained the white snow. My mouth felt furry, for the scarf over it was wet and warm. I didn't ask what kinds of things hid in those black trees. When you go owling, you have to be brave. Here they are walking. Then we came to a clearing on the dark woods. The moon was high above us, and it seemed to fit exactly over the center of the clearing, and the snow below it was whiter than the milk in your cereal bowl. I sighed, and Paul held up his hand at the sound. I put my mittens over my scarf to cover my mouth and listened hard, and then Paul called again. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I listened and looked so hard that my ears hurt and my eyes got cloudy. Paul raised his hand to call out again, but before he could, an echo came threading its way through the trees. Ooh, ooh. Pa smiled, and then he called back again. Ooh, ooh, just as that if he and the owl were talking about supper or about the woods. I took my mitten off my scarf. I took off I took my mitten off the scarf off my mouth, and I almost smiled too. The owl's call came closer from the high up in the trees on the edge of the meadow. Nothing in the meadow moved. All of a sudden, an owl shadow, part of the big tree shadow, lifted off and flew right at us. We watched silently. The shadow hooted again. Pa turned on his big flashlight and caught the owl just as it was landing on a branch. For 1 minute, 3 minutes, or maybe even 100 minutes, we stared at one another. I was staring at them. Then the owl pumped up its great wings and lifted off the branch like a shadow without a sound. It flew back into the forest. Time to go home, Pa said to me. I knew then I couldn't talk. I could even laugh. I could laugh out loud. But I was quiet as a shadow as we walked home. Big Owl. When you go owling, you don't need words or warm or anything but hope. That's what Pa says. The kind of hope that flies on silent wings under a shining owl moon. So again, second grade, fold your paper in thirds. You're going to write beginning, middle, end. Write one good second grade sentence with capital letter at the beginning, punctuation at the end, and then take a picture and email it or to your teacher so you can get credit for your lesson. I hope you're having fun with your online learning on Facebook this week. I miss you all.